Hello everyone, today we'll be taking a look at the Silbervogel Suborbital Bomber and Atomic Payload Suite in 70-second scale from Takom. So this was the German Wunderwaffe supersonic plane thing. Anyways, on the side we have some illustrations for the Atomic Payload Suite and the Silbervogel. Here we have here's the sprue list for all the parts that we have. And you got this for a sale. Okay, so let's take a look at our instructions. So the instructions just tell you exactly what the concept was. This is pretty much just it. It's just big, fast bird bomb, fly into the stratosphere, be a rocket ship. Here's your parts. Let's see the instructions. So the first thing you do is you build the atomic payload vehicle. You build the little truck thing and the hull. Then you build the interior, including the drive shaft. Little vehicle comes together like that. Very simple little thing. And the spare tire on the back. Then the back comes together, the trunk, and the atomic payload suite. You get an option. You can make a little one or you can make a big one. The big one looks cool. But it's not scary because it needs to be pointy. Because pointy's scary. Let me see if you got the reference there. And then you attach the vehicle and you're done. Okay. So when you're building the Silbervogel, you have an option. You can build it with bay doors open or closed, and you'll build the bomb bay right there and the landing gear bay. Little landing gear just go in there, and then the forward. So you build the forward part. You have it open or closed. The cockpit, you have an option for 2 pilots or single pilot, and then the wheel goes on there. The hatch on the top, canopy, you need a 30-gram weight inside there, and then the wings go on, and the aft twin tail along with a rocket nozzle. 3 parts come together, and then you'll be finished. So here's the various paint schemes you can do. You can paint your little atomic payload suite car in here, and then your Silbervogel can be painted in various ways. But I don't think they're actually going to camouflage this, because the paint would just burn up when you're traveling at like 13,000 miles per hour. You can paint it like this, or the these logos. But I'm painting like this. This is the reason it's called the Silbervogel. It's because it's silver, and I'm gonna paint it like the whatchamacallits. The SpaceX plane, because it looks like the SpaceX plane. Okay, enough yapping. Let's take a look at what we have here. So, this sprue over here has a lot of small stuff inside. So we have the glass-paned windows for the Atomic Payload Suite little vehicle, and the glass-paned windows for the Silbervogel itself. Here you have 15 tires. You actually get real tires for your little car here. So painting's going to be easier. It's just a little truck, pretty much. Here's your hull, and when you assemble, this thing's actually pretty big. This is just 2 sections. When you attach everything together, this thing's going to be a monster. Anyways, let's take a look at our sprues. So, C sprue right here has the main wings. It has the ceramic tiles. Let's just get this thing out of here, so the glare won't be too bad. But down here, we have the ceramic tiles, which is for like re-entry, and so the thing doesn't just like explode on the way down. I think it was like, yeah, this direction, and that would be mounted right there, and then you'd have this section. So yeah, this thing's big. And then you have an option between the twin cockpit or single cockpit. Very nice parts. On the upside, we have very good panel lines. Panel liner would work very nice on here. I've never built a plane before, so I'm actually very interested. Over here, we have the parts for the nuclear payload suite little vehicle. You know, the racks, axles, and the place for the little bomb to go, as well as the wheels and the chassis for the two payload trucks. Okay, this sprue again is the next part for the little payload trucks. Seems like the payload trucks have more parts in the actual plane itself. You also a little truck, and then suspensions, wheels, and also the like lights and whatnot, and also the exhaust wheel axles. Okay, here we have our weapons. So here's the big bomb and the little bomb. They all have their fins right there. And yeah, this is the fin. They again have pretty good panel lines on them. A little bit of detail. Well, it looks good. Looks pretty scary. Because these are atomic weapons. Or like Wunderwaffe atomic weapons, whatever. Okay, here we have the hull, the belly. So this is the nose, center, and the back. And you also have the supersonic tip. Rocket nozzles right here. That's where the rocket engines actually come out of. And then landing gear, ailerons, and the big belly of the thing. The belly of the beast. And that would just goes on just like that. Okay. Next sprue right here. Have the internal bomb bay. The bomb bay is actually this like little slotted structure that you just slot together. And that just goes in like that. Very simple. And here's like the drop mechanism. You just mount the weapon on there. Here's your wheels. You get big main landing gear wheels, tiny little wheel in the front. And then the forward landing gear bay, doors, and also the controls for the pilots themselves. And then I think that's a nose cap for the single pilot. Okay. Here, the main part of the show is the decals. The decals is a giant sheet of this stuff. There's a big sheet. So, with all these decals, you have a variety of choices of exactly which one you want to do. I'll probably use the Silbervogel's decals, and then whichever letter it was for the plane. You get a various assortment of iron crosses and pinwheels that you can use on the plane. The thing is, here's an interesting fact. Model kit companies can't actually paint. They can print the pinwheel, but they can't sell their kits in Germany. And I think a lot of European countries, if they have the pinwheel on there. So they have to print it in 2 pieces. So technically, they aren't printing it. It's up to the modeler to build it. But the Silbervogel decal does look pretty cool. And you get but the big stripe is also pretty nice. Yeah. Alrighty. Sounds like all for this kit. Anyways, this is a very big kit. Very, very big kit. I've never built an aircraft before, and honestly, I've got some pretty high hopes, because this looks very interesting. I personally think the Wunderwaffe vehicles that Takom does is very cool, and I hope to see them do more of them, because honestly, I can never have enough of that stuff. The fictional sci-fi stuff, because this all gives like major sci-fi vibes, is very cool. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe, and thank you for watching. Good night.